My question deals with stick technique, particularly with fingers and control.
Right.
I noticed a lot of drummers use the middle finger and the thumb to pivot, and they always say the index finger is kind of the guide or the top. I tend to use more the Terry Bozzio method, where I've always just, for years, I've always just used my index finger and thumb. And I was noticing during your performance that you were kind of switching back and forth, and I recall doing that once at a show where I failed to warm up beforehand. I didn't have a chance, and I started to cramp up. And as soon as I switched from this to this,
Right.
with my right hand, suddenly everything kind of mellowed back out, and I was able to go back.
Relax,
So,
yeah.
how do you determine which one you use in which situation?
Well, I mean, if you see me going back and forth, it's just I'm not making a conscious effort to do it. It's just I've hold on. Yeah, I'm not consciously thinking about that, because the natural tendency for me is just the index finger. Okay, and I'm using the French timpani most of the time, right? So I'm just letting the stick do the work. Okay, so most of I see a lot of drummers make this mistake. Physics is a big part of playing the drums. Okay, so I do this with all my students. Don't I justice? Okay, my nephew is here. I want you guys to meet him. Justice Michael, stand up, bruh. And so, like I said, physics is a part of drumming, right? So you want to find that point on your stick where you get what's happening? Yeah. So the stick is helping me out less and less, right? It's dying now. It's not giving no help at all, okay? And vice versa if you go. That's kind of the point for me on my stick, right there, about 3/4 of the way down. And that's where I position, that's why I usually grab it. You go any further up, same thing, it dies on you. So you want to find that point where the stick is helping you out the most, okay? And then at that point, when you bring these fingers into play, yeah, exactly. So I do an exercise called, it's called this finger 2, 3, and 4, okay? So really simple rhythmic exercise. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E and right? And you go through this exercise and you add a set of 16ths every time, okay? So what happens here is you keep adding 16ths until you have all 16ths. Now the key is to not let the other fingers help the finger that's doing the work. All right? Yeah, you want to isolate that finger, okay? So that you can, because when you condition them like that, when you bring them together, then it makes a lot more sense. They're much more stronger, you know? Yeah, so that's, I mean, you know, that's the advice that, you know, I would give to you. But warming up is very important too. I always try to take at least 30 minutes to warm up, because you will cramp. I don't care how good you are, you will cramp. It's happened to me on stage before, and it's not fun, you know. Yeah, I had a funny story when I was out with David Sanborn, rest his soul. Went out to this big steak dinner the night before the gig. I mean, huge, like we just ate our faces off. And I didn't warm up the next day and just got on stage, and about the second song, man, my forearm just locked up on me, you know. So you got to loosen up. You got to take time to loosen up. You got to stay hydrated, you know. You got to stay hydrated. That's a part of it too, because if you dehydrate, you will cramp, you know. Drumming is athletic. If you think about it in terms of that, then you'll always do what you need to do to be prepared.